All right. Thank you to our friends at TCAM. We're being recorded, so just acknowledge that for everybody. I'll quickly run through our agenda today for August 21st, and then we've called it to order as of 4:03, and then we'll jump to roll call after I finish running through the agenda. Looking at section 1, call to order, roll call, additions or deletions. Meeting business, we have a review of the RFP for Haynes Road, a website updates, logging plan, board organization. 2.3 is a water department easement drawing update. 2.4 is voting on meeting minutes for May 22nd, 26th, and July 8th. 2.5 is inclusionary zoning bylaw review. We may also dovetail that into MBTA compliance special town meeting review as well. And lastly, at 2.6 is a fall trust planning and goal review, just sort of an agenda for the months to come, as the fall and summer seems to be ending and fall seems to be beginning all of a sudden here. So, but I'll let you guys jump to roll call 1.2 here at 4:04 p.m.
Okay. Dave Worland, present.
Veronica Cal, present.
Beverly Napier, present.
Cindy Boundy, present.
Excellent. Let's see here. So 1.3, I don't think we have any chairman's additions or deletions. Just for a point of clarity, Dave, when you were absent from us July 8th, you were volunteered and voluntold to become our chairman. So just to keep you in the loop.
Yeah, that reminds me of the old comedy routine where they're all standing in a straight line, and I need a volunteer, and everyone but one person that doesn't understand what's going on steps back.
You're well suited, though. You got it.
Okay.
Can I make a comment on minutes? I know it's not till then, but who is our vice chair?
I thought it was you, Veronica.
I thought it was Cindy, and mine.
All right.
And I didn't go back to the video to confirm it, but it's one of the things in the minutes, but we're not doing minutes till the end. So, Cindy, what do you remember?
I'll fess up. I think it's me.
I think it is too.
So yeah.
So when we get to the minutes section, we'll make a modification there for a change. July 8th wasn't recorded. That was that in-person meeting we had, and it wasn't recorded that day. So I didn't have, my notes were mostly focused on the RFP rather than, sort of the board organization.
I couldn't find the minutes then, but I take notes, for myself, and okay.
Great. So we'll make those
Cindy.
additions and deletions there.
Oh, you're welcome.
And Beverly's the clerk. Beverly is still
the clerk.
All right.
Great. All right. So shifting to meeting business, we'll jump right into the review of 2.1, the RFP for Haynes Road, a town-owned parcel.
Can you give me a minute to run into the other room and grab my papers from that?
Sure.
I didn't bring it in here.
I'll take that minute too.
I know.
And I'll say this to these guys as well. Hopefully we can get through this in about an hour and 15-ish, 25 minutes or so. I've got to get my dog at 5:35-ish at the doggy daycare place. So we got about an hour and a half to play and have a good time. But otherwise, Charlie's going to be stuck overnight in Amherst. So
might not be happy.
He loves doggy daycare. He gets very excited to go there. So
oh, wow. Okay.
So Karen, can I ask a question regarding that RFP? I believe that I had inquired as to whether Adam, town council, had reviewed and commented on that. Has that happened?
That has not happened because I wanted us to review and approve it, and then tee it up to Adam and get his, critique. And then I would, ideally we would have another meeting scheduled, or I would send it along to each one of you with his revisions. to approve. And then that would keep us, moving right along here.
Okay.
I know, with a few other things that are going on within the building, I think Adam's been pretty busy lately. So
He has been. And I will say that there are town council office hours, I believe it's September 4th. Is that right? Or is that when I'm pretty sure he's coming on the 4th. Oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
Because he's doing an open meeting law presentation on the 4th. So let me just get to this. Yes, it's September 4th. He's doing an open meeting law public records presentation in the morning and I believe late afternoon. And so he's doing his office hours on that day. And I will not be in town on that day, but that would be a good time for him to review the RFP. And so Kieran and David and anybody else that would want to attend that meeting with him, I guess when the call comes out, Kieran, and you probably won't see it, David, I don't know. But Kieran will, to just book time with him, to have him go over it with us that day might be the most inexpensive way for the town at this point.
yeah, I might, with your okay, I may send it along to him in advance because does have some, details that might behoove him to review in advance and then sit with me or whomever to sort of piece through any questions that come up. So
On that day, yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Have the deeds been recorded at the,
As of yesterday, no. I don't know about today.
why? What? Do you know what's?
There was a snafu with the difference between a certificate of vote and a certified copy of the vote. And I think that what was delivered first was a certified copy of the vote. Not a certificate of vote, which is basically the minutes. And I think that has been rectified as of last week.
Yeah.
I
have not heard different. So that's
Okay.
the only marching orders I have for now is the emails you had shared with me, Veronica. So
Okay.
But I think Adam has all the right stuff. So now it's a matter of when you record it, does it appear instantly or not? And but it should be recorded. I keep checking the registry. And it should be recorded within the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So I also haven't, but we see council bills a month after they happen. So the recording fee hasn't appeared yet on the town council bill, but I expect it will be on the one that we get in September.
Okay.
So anyway, that's my hope. Yeah,
fingers crossed.
yeah.
Mhm.
Do we want to jump into the RFP or how do you want to sort of game out, and plan out this sort of feedback? I think I heard from David, he said, I'm just speaking for you, I think you said it looked okay. Anything else that jumped out at other folks that you want me to be mindful of, or after a second glance, David, any feelings here?
Everyone seen it? I have.
I have.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got swamped by emails from me the last few days, so you probably are sick of my emails in general. So, but really, it's what we sort of walked through that July 8th meeting,
Mhm.
and we had the Winchester version that I modified to Townsend, and the resident that had joined us that day also asked for a copy of the sort of draft version, so they received it over email just because the public record once we've been working on it within our office. So there hasn't been any changes since then. And really the goal here is for you guys to basically okay it so I can get it off to town council. A few things I certainly want his wording clarity on, specific to Townsend. We're not Winchester, we're not Dunstable, we're not Groton, Pepperell, we are Townsend. So we want to make sure it honors sort of what Townsend needs and wants the, the reading to look like. So, we probably would want to take a vote to authorize me to tee it up to town council, if everyone was comfortable with that. I'm not sure if that's the proper, path you'd like me to follow. So.
I'm good with that. I did have a couple questions relating to date, that's all.
Yeah, the dates were highlighted in yellow on purpose because I think we might be a little behind the 8 ball. And I think Adam, his eye's probably going to go to those and say, you guys got to stretch that out a little bit more, is my suspicion.
But my question is, do we? Because if we can get him, so our first date is the RFP is available on September 8th. Now, if our date for talking to him is September 4th, that might be okay. I do have my calendar here. Public select board meeting was 10:30. Let me just look and see, because we've changed dates around a little bit. I would change I think we could push these all out maybe by 2 weeks. If we do not have a select board meeting on the 30th of October. So if we started at that one, public select board meeting, and made it November 5th, which is the day after Election Day, and basically a week later. So that's pushing everything out a week, essentially.
Okay.
I would be okay with that if everyone else is.
So just working from the top, important dates, we have RFP available. That would be 9, rather than 9/8, you're thinking 9/15?
15, yeah.
15.
So I would make that 9:15. And then the pre-bid meeting, that's where we meet with anybody that is interested. We had that on 9/29. We could make that October 6th.
Okay.
If that's okay with you, Kieran, because you're going to need to be at that meeting. It should be a day that you are here.
Yep.
You
Here
know,
Monday. So that jives well.
Okay. And then the next one was 10:3 RFP questions. So the pre-bid meeting was 10:6. RFP questions due. We had 10:3. That's like the Friday. So
Could we
maybe
make that
we'll
10?
10.
Could we make that 10/9?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. What about you
Okay.
guys?
Because then, you don't have me coming in, burning up hours on that day.
Either
Uh,
10:9 or 10:13. I am assuming that the
13 is a
question.
holiday, I think.
Holiday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Columbus
10/9.
Day or whatever?
13 is a holiday.
Okay, then let's make it the 9th. So or should we make it the 15th? I'm just thinking the pre-bid meeting is for people to come in. And then if they have any other questions, we need to give them time, correct? To formulate those questions?
So there's a little bit of unknown there because it's a disposition of land. And we're really washing our hands of any contingencies or responsibility for what the land might represent. It's really truly up to the bidder to go out and do their due diligence. I'm not going to tell them that I think you could put a 4-bedroom septic out there. I don't know.
Right.
And they can go and check with the building commissioner, but that's really the only person they're going to be checking with, or maybe the Board of Health for septic, Neshoba Board of Health type of questions. Because I don't want us to get caught in the web of, I make a representation about it and it's not accurate.
So is it better to have a shorter time period or a longer time period?
So I think shorter's better because it
Okay.
reduces the amount of time for questions and uncertainty. And I suspect it'll be a local firm that tries to get this piece of land more often than not, because they know Townsend, they know the area and what the subsurface earth is going to look like for, wells and septic systems. And it might be something that I check with Adam on, like, do we need to have a question, session? We may not.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
I think we sort of have that tentative date of 10/9, and then responses due, by the 22nd, maybe, or, because then
Yeah.
it's the pre-bid meeting questions, and then we try to get those responses to them by the 22nd. So then, we have time for the select board to make a judgment, as well as our trust here, you folks, to decide whether you want to accept what, offer one, offer two, or if there's no offers, what do we do?
Right.
Hmm.
So we would have a bid opening on Wednesday, the 22nd.
I think so, yeah.
Does that work with everybody? We had made these dates, we had put these dates in play when you weren't here, David, so.
Sooner the better. That's
That's what I think too. That's what I
Yeah.
think. I think it's really important that town council looks over this whole thing.
Yeah.
But after that, it should just be quick, because we don't have anything to say about, here, it's a piece of land, you look at it,
Right.
So, yeah, I think quick.
Okay,
all right. So I'd like to make a motion that we authorize Kieran to request town council to review the Haynes Road town-owned parcel.
the RFP for.
The RFP. Yes, I'm sorry.
Do you want to just identify the parcel just as lot 34-80-0, David, just for the sake of, because there are a couple other parcels up there. So
Yeah.
I'd make a motion to, approve Kieran to confirm and confer with town council for lot 34-80-0 Haynes Road for land disposition.
All right. We
You can
say
say
that.
so moved if that's easier, because I'll put that into the minutes along the way when I rewatch the video.
All right, so moved.
A second.
Excellent. One thing to think about is, and this is just a kind of a best practice to me, is with the land use, and I don't know how this has been done before, is do we want a little sign up there? Or I don't know the abutters in that area, but I can certainly send them a letter. Veronica, what best practices do you guys have? I'm not familiar with them for how to keep people informed. And in case you see, John Smith, the builder, out there walking around, you might.
Yeah, and just judging from what happened when Dave and I walked on the property to confirm the forestry. We could, once it's approved by town council and before we go out to bid, just send a letter. I don't know that a sign is necessarily, necessary, but certainly a letter to abutters.
All right. Do we have a list of the abutters?
You can get that from the assessor's office. They can easily generate that. There aren't that many.
There are many, and the landing point, and I'm using it for folks, is, it's basically across from the entrance to Trophy Ave, I think, right there. That's sort of the reference point between the two parcels.
Right.
Again, there's a stone wall in there, but there's no other iron pins that I was able to find after walking up there one day. So really it's the due diligence of a bidder to determine those things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet Adam will say, he may ask for more time, but we can cross that bridge when we get there. So,
Okay. That
so
works.
we have that motion to get it over to town council. Appreciate that. Any other questions on this topic, or any other, concerns folks have?
I am good on this.
No, I'm good.
I do have a
As long
question
as
for
the deed gets registered.
Yes, that's critical.
Yeah,
And
because I don't think anything should happen until that is done.
I agree with that. And
So-
I am confident that town council has what is needed. And so,
Okay.
Now, I do have a question and a hand raised from an audience member. Am I okay to take that from folks within the trust?
I'm okay.
Yep. CK, I don't know who you are, but do you mind just identifying yourself and
Yeah,
your address?
you guys know me very well. It's Cindy. I just want to let you know that you, before you get yourself in trouble, you made the motion for Kiernan to go to Adam, but you didn't vote on it. So I just want to make sure you vote on it.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Roll call
Dave.
vote for the
Thank
motion.
you. Call for a vote, Dave.
All right, yes.
Did you a roll call? Oh, 'cause
All
we're
in
on
favor? All in favor of Kieran to authorize town council to confer and to review the Haynes Road town-owned parcel, lot 34-80-0, for land disposition. Say aye.
No, roll call vote.
Oh, roll call, I'm sorry.
Is that because we're on Zoom? Is that
It's
because we're on
because
Zoom?
we
Yeah,
are all
yeah,
remote,
yeah.
yes.
Sorry, okay, roll call vote.
Mhm.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Cindy Boundy, aye.
Beverly Napier, aye.
Dave Whirlin, aye.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
And passes.
Robert's Rules of Orders, Ms. King. Always good. So we've checked that off our agenda list. 2.2 is website updates. I'm going to reorganize the board on our website, as well as we have our logging plan up there from our recent, previous meetings that we approved. It made me realize that I haven't contacted the forester yet to solicit their, work to come out and schedule it. So that triggered my brain that I should be taking care of that, this week or early next week to get the forester sort of on the docket, if you will. But just wanted to make you aware that those board reorganization and, meeting minutes and things like that, once approved, will go online on the website for your reference, or in case you have any, residents inquiring about what's going on. So more just a clerical, technical thing for your guys' reference more than anything else. Were there any questions on that matter or concerns?
I'm just looking here very quickly.
Yep, take your time.
We do have the updated action plan. That's what I wanted to see, to make sure
Mhm.
that that was on there as well.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. And speaking of the forester, topic forestry plan and cutting action plan, the town, I think a treasurer account, I can't remember, verified that we do in fact have an account. A trust fund timber account is sort of the summary way to describe it, that, if in the event they timber the land and then we, receive $1, that dollar would go into that account for the trust to use on a future project, on a land survey, whatever it might be, based on the trust sort of goals. So it's nice to have that sort of in place.
so that is specific to the Affordable Housing Trust.
Correct.
I think that this is a future agenda item. I think we should have a policy for how, generating payment of warrants, have this all written down. That you would do it, that the officers would sign, or however the plan is to submit to the treasurer to release funds, or and something for where do funds go.
Okay. Yeah, because you have a revenue account and then a expenditure account. So
Yeah,
we have both working for us now in the event we get $1, and then if we owe $1, then we're net zero at the end of the day there. So
okay.
that I'll put that on a future agenda for September to revisit and
Okay.
sort of create a policy for the trust to work through for incoming money as well as expending, and the approval policy for that. So
Okay, thank you.
um,
I'm trying to think of what else. Our 5-year plan is up there so people can see where our properties are.
Mhm.
I understand that there's a push do spot zoning by petition for it's not final yet for the property that we are developing. So just know that's
Okay.
coming forward in the September 25th, I think it is, special town meeting, perhaps.
Great.
Not final yet.
Yeah.
But maybe something like that, we're going to want to put up on the website as well.
Cool. So that covers 2.2. 2.3 was, it's more, again, just another update. The water department shared with myself and I think Veronica, maybe David, that they are, having a proper survey done of that parcel. So it, not just a hand drawing. And we've touched base on this topic. It's for the, concept plan where it shows the easement going through. So we're waiting for an official surveyor or stamp drawing from the water department. The hope is sometime in September that we have that, for longer term planning purposes. And, if we get it between now and the next meeting, I'll put it on the agenda and share it in advance so we can all take a look at it and just, sort of put it all together, if you will. So
That easement, I believe, is already written up by town council and it just needs that picture, and it would also need to be placed on the registry of deeds.
right.
make
So it'll be
it-
recorded and such, probably
Yes.
through a Mylar, and that we have, it's available public document that, folks can look at if needed. So,
Okay, thank you.
so that covers 2.3. 2.4 is meeting minutes. I had a flurry of writing over the last few weeks. May 22nd, June 26th, and July 8th. May 2022 and 26 were Zoom meetings. So if I was way off topic, we always have a recording of that, and you're welcome to yell at me and give corrections. July 8th was in person, and really the goal of that meeting was a board reorg and the review of the RFP. Happy to take corrections. I'll make note of the correction that Veronica is not the vice chair. Cindy is. Good luck, Cindy. And
Well, anyway, did we want to make a motion for these separately? And then any discussion on each? Can we do that? Because I have discussion on two. I have changes on two of them.
Sure.
But,
yeah,
um,
whichever you guys are most comfortable with. So happy to be flexible.
I would make a motion to approve the minutes for May 22nd, 2025.
We would need a second and then a roll call vote.
Okay, I second that.
Dave Worland, aye.
Beverly Napier, aye.
Cindy Boundy, aye.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Excellent. So that is May 22 has been approved and will go online. Looks like we may have a question for June 26 and July 8th. So I will bring out my sheet and look to make edits. So
Well, do you want the edits first or the motion first? Which way should we do it?
I would take the edits first and then I'll amend them and
Okay.
then look for your approval. So
The only one I have is under 2.6. It's a sentence that says, while the general expectation is that the federal government will reclaim the funds, it remains unclear whether I would change town to trust, will be able to retain any interest accrued.
Hmm.
Because I know that ARPA funds, any interest on them is retained by the town. What I don't know is whether the trust, that's part of the rules for ARPA funds. What I don't know is whether the trust is able to retain because it was committed to us and obligated and reported as such in 2023.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point, Ronnie.
Yeah,
Is this
good
a
point of
question?
clarity.
Does this become another question for Adam?
I don't think so.
So who resolves that?
The town administrator through the US Treasury and CSS,
Okay.
a consultant for ARPA.
yeah,
So
it's
those
really a
funds-
wait and see approach.
Right.
And,
Nobody knows. It's so,
no-
because it was reported for affordable housing. And And that's that. And we did expend some of them. It's 93,500. But I just really will not do this was discussed at a select board meeting. No subrecipient agreement was put in, even though one was offered. And that is because our former town administrator, together with town council, and he states this in the select board meeting, said it wasn't needed because we are not a 501c3. We are a town organization just with different rules under MGL for how monies are handled. So it was felt we didn't need one. So the auditor for the town, who audits the town's books every year, said no, he thought we needed one. And at this point, and I could write one up and turn it in. However, we have a completely different Board of Selectmen, a completely different town administrator. So backdating a subrecipient agreement, in my mind, is not the best thing to do. And the fact that we turned in a budget and monies were expended from that budget to pay for our administrative assistant, to pay for trainings, etc. But however, because of the rule change at the end of December, or whenever it was in the fall, it was determined that we couldn't spend anymore. So there is 93,000, I can't remember the exact, 93,000, 500 roughly, give or take, that is unexpended from that account, plus interest. So the 93,000 plus or minus is what's in question, and we'll see. Who knows? It's going to be one of those accounts that's found in 10 years and someone says, wow, what's this money doing sitting here? And nobody knows, and somebody will be very happy.
And there'll be a lot of interest.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. So
Yeah.
there you go. That's
Were there
what-
any other changes to make note of, other than that's one word in 2.6?
That's
To
all I
swap
have.
out, it remains unclear whether the trust will be able to retain any interest accrued. So the word trust is going in place of town. So it's an amend the draft minutes and then a motion, if someone wanted to make it, to approve with that amendment of one word.
I'll make the motion. I move that we approve the minutes for June 26th, 2025, with the change of the word town to trust in 2.6.
Second.
And is there a roll call vote?
Favor, Cindy Boundy, yes.
Beverly Napier, yes.
Dave
Right.
Worland, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes.
So thank you again. Those will go up Monday online. Last but not least is our July 8th meeting we had in person that was not recorded online. David was not present, but Veronica, Cindy, and Beverly were, as well as myself, and we had one resident, Miss Sandra Lord, had come to visit with us and share public comment on progress of a development. Again, in summary, that meeting was really focused on the board reorganization, a quick discussion on registry filing, and then a working session to discuss Haynes Road Lot 34-80-0 and the RFP build process. Happy to take any amendments to the draft minutes.
The only one I have is the second bullet under 2.1. It should be Veronica nominated Cindy Boundy to be vice chair. And vote was unanimous for Cindy's nomination.
Got it.
All right.
Any other discussion or amendments?
So I make a motion that we accept the minutes for July 8th, 2025 with the amendment of the vice chair position.
I'll need a second, then a roll call vote, please.
Beverly Napier, aye.
We need a second first. I second it. I'll second
Yep.
it.
Cindy
Oh,
seconded.
Okay,
Beverly gave us
sorry,
a quick-
Beverly.
Beverly
I
gave
thought
us
we
a
were
quick
already
roll call.
seconded. Okay, Beverly Napier, aye.
Cindy Boundy, aye.
Veronica Cal, I.
Dave Whirlin abstain.
Yep, David was not present, so that is the right methodology there. So again, I'll get these up online on Monday. So,
All right.
Um,
Thank you,
all right,
Karen.
we're trucking right along this agenda. So 2.5 is going to be kind of blended into a couple of topics here. It's, there's been discussion within the planning board side of things, and our, my fellow planning board member here, our planning board administrative person, Beth, in regards to inclusionary zoning bylaw. I think I printed that out. And really it's sort of touching on affordable housing. And I think I've sent it along, but it was kind of fast and furious with emails I was sharing the last few days. So let me know if you had that or if any questions came up. And that's going to sort of segue nicely into the MBTA communities topic that we have and sort of in front of us for the town come, I think it's September 25th, 29th, Veronica, is that the right date?
The special town meeting is the
Yeah.
25th of
25th.
September. It's at the high school at
Yes.
7 p.m. So it's a Thursday night.
Yeah. And, to give you my sense on this inclusionary affordable housing development topic, I know we briefly discussed it when I first started back in the spring, and I think we felt it wasn't really baked out yet to really address. And then we sort of shifted our focus to the RFP. I kind of remain in the same headspace where I don't know if this affordable housing inclusionary zoning bylaw thought is the right time for a fall special town meeting to sort of hammer out. But I'll take your guidance and leadership, if you want me to really perseverate on that and sort of dig in. So.
I can give my opinion, but maybe
Yeah, don't all
everybody
go at
else should
once.
first.
Or how about we could go the other way, like have folks sort of gotten informed on MBTA community zoning and what that means to the town?
I have, but I'm at the select board meetings and I get that information. So I'm in a different position than other people.
I thought we were kind of in a reprieve period because like we don't have any infrastructure to do right? Like the MBTA communities that you have to have like so many units of family housing a half a mile from a transportation hub, right?
Well,
Yeah, so technically we're small town adjacent to an MBTA
Yeah,
community. And there's an expectation that even though you're small town adjacent, that you're compliant by December 31st, 2025 within the MBTA compliance. I'm not sure how to say that, compliancy or whatever the word is.
yeah.
So there's a value to that, as I just did this a moment ago before we joined on our meeting. It's about, for us, we would not have been eligible for over $1.25 million worth of grants if we weren't MBTA compliant. So there really is a value to the town to be MBTA compliant.
I'm not arguing that. I think that's absolutely true. But I don't know how we can be, okay, what do we have to do to be compliant?
So we have to vote to approve that zoning.
Just the zoning, okay,
Yeah,
like we don't.
Veronica,
have to
jump
have
in if I'm
actual.
no,
misrepresenting.
that is exactly right. There's an area of town that has been designated. It's down on Route 13 towards Lunenburg that the planning board they've done a lot of work on this and they've figured out where is the best place for this. And so the parcels that they're looking at are down that way. And it will be zoned as an MBTA area,
Oh, okay.
that has these just a little bit different zoning than everybody else in town. And so there's a public hearing.
The 15th, September 15th.
It's September 15th. And if you're not, it's on a Monday. If you're not aware, it would be good to pay attention to that. I'm sure it will be recorded or, and projected, but just so that you know what's going on with that. And that's about, so the town has to have something in place by the end of December. So there's a public hearing, there's a vote. If we need to make any changes as a town to that, and again, this is planning board purview, it's not the select board, then there would be time to make any adjustments that need to be made to the potential bylaw, proposed bylaw.
Got a
That's about it.
question? You got a question from Ms. Lord? You want to take that? Yes, everybody?
Ms. Lord?
Hi, good afternoon. This is Sandra Lord. I was just going to ask you, the MBTA, correct me if I'm wrong, MBTA compliant areas would be close to Lunenburg. And I was just wondering, do you have like a parcel lot numbers available for?
My
I
response
don't.
to that is to go to the planning board. They're the ones that are doing that. That is not a question for the Affordable Housing Trust.
Oh, okay.
It's
If you email Beth Faxon, she might be able to share a PDF of what it looks like. Or it might be on the
Actually,
planning board site.
I am looking at the website right now because my guess is that you could find it there. Departments, where would it be under? Yeah, land use department. If you go under departments on the website, land use, MBTA communities, compliance, and you can go through there. There is a lot there that you can look at. You would probably want to look at what's most recent.
Okay.
Because I think Beth had put up, there's a lot of historical stuff. You can see what the town has considered over the past it was my last round as a select board member that this came out. And so the town has been looking at it for a long time, but it's the planning board who brings
Oh,
it down.
okay.
So,
And it's right on the town website under the,
yes,
okay.
there's a lot to look at, a lot of.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Everybody have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Same to you.
Thanks. Bye.
For what it's worth, if we don't vote to approve that compliance, I'm probably out of a job. So for those who are residents,
Uh-oh.
it really,
Uh-oh.
it basically, it nullifies just about any grant you could potentially apply for other than paving, paving
Okay.
program you'd be eligible for, but almost every other one you'd be out of luck.
Any community compact, any of the open space, any of all the grants and we've gotten over somewhere in the 2 million in grants over the past since we hired a grant writer.
Okay.
We have gotten a lot of grants in town.
Could I ask one more question? Does the town have to match grants that you get from anywhere?
It varies. It depends on the grant program. Kieran can talk more about that.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the grant. So if you can see my screen, I don't know if it's working or not.
Oh, yeah, I do see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can sort of see on the right-hand side, the grants that we've received that we would not be eligible for.
That's not what's up there. What you have up there is Haynes Road.
Oh, okay.
Put
I don't
up
know,
the
reading-
grants.
Oh, okay.
You must have clicked on the wrong one.
There we go. Does that look better?
There you
It's
go.
like a map.
Yes.
Is that-
that's-
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, there's some kind of, I
Yeah,
see.
so on the right-hand side, as Kieran was saying, those are the grants that we've received from state grant programs. I'll let you,
Okay.
Kieran.
I know it's a little rudimentary. I just started building this afternoon,
Oh, wow,
sort of
that's cool.
as an infographic that shows you what you lose if you don't have, compliance with the MBTA communities.
Wow.
and, we've done a great job. The person before me, Erin, did a fantastic job, and those before her, getting grants. But within the last few years, these are grants that we would lose or not be eligible for in the future without MBTA compliance.
I see. I see.
Hmm.
Well, thank you very much for creating this because it gives a better sense of what's going on,
Do you
Yeah,
have a total on that, Kieran? If you scroll down, do you have a
Yeah,
total?
it's $1.385 million.
And
And I know that because I was doing that before, but I got to put the total at the bottom. I was running out of space on the slide. So, but
maybe put it in the header. Townsend has received a total of X number of dollars over the past 10 years. So
yeah, I was going to encourage, like Beth and I were going to chat on Monday about how to, clean it up, make it more optically friendly, for a printout at the town meeting, maybe print 100 copies to tell people like, this is why it's important to your community. And I'm happy to present and explain to people why I think, A, these are good grants. And though I don't agree with all of the MBTA concepts, I don't want any small rural town to be ineligible for funding that, for council on aging, ADA stuff, like that stuff that's really important to a town. So, but shifting back to trust topics, so that, we were talking about, the MBTA compliance and zoning, and my thoughts on inclusionary zoning and affordable housing. I would be waiting to get the MBTA rollout going and then back your way into inclusionary zoning.
I
That's just
the
that's just the way I
bylaw,
philosophize.
the bylaw for MBTA zoning, I believe the planning board, unless they've changed things in the past year, voted, it was last August, they were going to put in the requirement for affordability for 10% of the units, and they backed out on that last August, saying that, well, the density will make it affordable. I do not necessarily agree with that statement. I just don't agree with that statement. It's not a given by any means. You would think that maybe, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
So, but they did back away from that. I haven't read the bylaw to see if they put it back in. The last time I looked at it, and it's been changing regularly. Last time I looked, which was probably 6 months ago, it wasn't there. And I don't know of any discussion that they've had. So the idea was to do affordability this way. The way we're approaching it by taking the properties and affording and developing on our own. Of course, if someone says, oh, well, we don't want it here and we don't want it there and we don't want it there, well, that's that. Affordability in Townsend is pretty dead in the water unless a 40B comes in. So this is one way because we have a quasi affordability bylaw, but it has never been enacted by the planning board. So this is to make it more formal. And I think it needs more work. I think it's rushed because you have to have a public hearing ahead of time and take input and consider that input. And it's just rushed to get it in for special town meeting in September. However, I would be willing to work on it and bring it forward in special town meeting. We'll have one in probably January after free cash has been certified and the tax rate set. We typically have another one, and I anticipate needing one this year. Anyway, I would be willing to work on it to bring it forward then, or at annual town meeting, either one, depending on where we are come December.
Well, yeah, that links really nicely to 2.6, which is sort of, I think this is an important topic for us to have, and I'll probably keep it on our agenda for the future, is sort of what the plans are for the trust and the ways that I can assist you guys with goals and future sort of development, if you will. So I'll make note of that, Veronica. So, affordable housing zoning bylaw or something to that effect that we look to maybe for January to get baked out and work with our planning board friends to perhaps collaborate on that together.
I would want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and same with, any other, the disposition of the land and, sort of what the fall looks like for this group, to make sure, you want to keep me employed and go from there. So, always happy to take, other things you have on your checklist that you want me to sort of work with and go for. So,
So for me, it's again, Goldson, is that the name? J.M. Goldson?
Mhm.
I would want to, once the RFP is in place and the property is sold, I think we need to go forward with what we're doing on the property. If it's rezoned, I would go to the ZBA and request that that we be able to develop anyway. We've already
Okay.
been in process. That property was available 50 years ago, 40 years ago for agricultural purposes. And to decide that it needs to be agricultural at this point is a little, well, I'll say it on tape, NIMBY. That's about what it is. So, but that's fine. But I would want to go with J.M. Goldson and go forward regardless of what happens there, with the plan that we had talked about and see what people in the community actually want.
Yeah.
I just think we need to do that. So our purpose with J.M. Goldson may change, but I think we need some community input as far as what people see.
Yeah, I think that's great. Community engagement is so important, and especially getting way far down the road. Sometimes it takes a few iterations of a plan to finally get one that's, melds well with the public as well as being practically useful to affordability or 55 plus housing, whatever it might be. It sometimes takes a few different ways to get there. So,
this property is the best property in that it doesn't have environmental constraints on it.
Yeah.
And it has town water, etc. I would hate to see us spending, and we've spent a good deal of time being thoughtful about what we're doing in town. Under the guise of we were voted at town meeting, the properties were voted at town meeting to be for affordable housing. I don't want to see the situation where we say, okay, so these people decided that they didn't want it there because it was next to them. And then we go to the next property and we encounter the same situation. And we've already encountered it just with doing minimal forestry, which is a common thing to be done in town. So do we move from property to property to property, spinning our heels because really, truly, people in town don't want affordable housing? That's my concern.
Yeah.
And I see that happening. So
yeah, every town has that, right? I mean, that's just the reality of some of these topics, but hopefully, more, we were able to collaborate a little bit and, sort of get something that's approachable for all. But, maybe I'm too optimistic when it comes to that sometimes. So,
well, I'm hopeful, but
yeah.
you never know. So,
okay.
So community engagement, J.M. Goldson.
Yep.
Inclusionary bylaw. There was a third thing. Oh, the property on Haynes Road, the encroachment.
Oh, yes. So,
that.
I meant to add this to our agenda. If I can, I should have had a correspondence item on our agenda. Our town council has received a response from the resident that had encroached on the Haynes Road parcel. There is discussion of a check, and, a response to the encroachment letter. So that is positive. They may opt to not plant, and in lieu of that, again, write a check to the Townsend Affordable Housing Trust, at which point we should go out and plant the trees. So we have, our buffer in place for that parcel. So we're waiting for a few more details from town council on that topic. So hopefully that will be not necessarily a win-win, but it'll just be a correction to what had happened on that encroachment up there. So.
So maybe we should put that on our next meeting agenda, because by then
Yeah.
we'll know what the resolution is, or what the resolution between town council and the resident is.
It would be
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
it would be nice to get that resolved quickly so that our window for planting is closing quickly for this year, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we can't do it next year, but it'd be nice to do it in the fall.
Yeah.
But it may be a practical impossibility.
Yeah. My suspicion is the encroaching resident likely writes a check. That's sort of what I gleaned from the messages between them and Adam, Adam to town council. But I'll keep you attuned of whatever develops here over the next. It'll probably be next week that we hear some more, is my guess. At least crossing my fingers, and hopefully, to David's point, we can come up with an action plan for either their planting or we go up there and we plant and get some nice new trees back in the ground there. They sort of keep that area flush, if you will. So, if I can jump in on a couple other correspondence items, Beth Faxon from our planning board side of things. This is in regards to 159 Brookline Street. The building commissioner made a determination on the classification of those short-term rentals that are on Brookline Street right there. They have been, if you've been following it, it's kind of an interesting topic where they're going to become long-term rentals, and the units shall be reclassified as non-owner occupied cottage dwellings as defined by Townsend bylaw, and non-transient as defined by Chapter 780 CMR 2021 International Building Code. What they are now is there's 9 units there, 9 dwellings that are short-term rentals, though the folks there are actually there for a longer term. 9's an important number because it's one less than what that affordable inclusionary zoning bylaw mandate would be, that if you hit
Right.
10, then one's got to be affordable. So the interpretation there, though, and I just talked to the building commissioner before our meeting, is does the standalone home count as one of the dwellings there? So is it 9 plus 1?
Good question.
Good call.
And I don't know. So we were scratching our heads, and we're going to go back to the drawing board a bit on that, because technically you have 10 dwellings then on a single parcel, and
Right.
then you do become quasi supervised by an affordability concept then, because one of them would have to be affordable. So you get 1 point on your subsidized housing inventory, if you will, 1 unit. So I forwarded some of that correspondence, and once I have more clarity, I'll keep sharing it with the group to sort of be aware of. And just kind of an interesting topic in terms of how that relates to goals of the trust in town. So
I know. That was good.
Great.
that was a lot of me talking, so sorry for that, but
No, that's-
happy to
no,
take
that was
any
good.
feedback.
Wow.
That
Good
was-
talk.
Yeah.
It can't be Airbnbs up there because they have to be sprinkled, is what the building commissioner determined. So interesting topic in general. There is another parcel in town up on Brookline Street just before the crossover into New Hampshire that we've had a few folks come through our office up here to ask about zoning in regards to what that could be. It's almost across the street from an already a little apartment complex, little townhouses there. So there's a few other folks that might be coming towards us eventually, either a self-funded affordable housing or just more mixed housing for the town. So,
Good.
I don't have anything else to say unless I can answer questions for you guys. So
So for our goals, we have inclusionary zoning and Goldson. What was the third one?
Yeah, so I
Community
think-
engagement.
Yep. Community engagement with J.M. Goldson, inclusionary zoning sort of discussion, and sort of iron that out, bake it out a little better. I will put contacting a forester for our action plan up there, and to see if they want to do a cut, late fall, early winter, or is it another year? What's the best plan there? And then I think,
encroachment.
I think it's determine really solidifying this RFP and getting some funds into the trust account for other goals, to pay a JM Goldson or to, work with, surveying other parcels we have through the town to get them properly sort of diagnosed, if you will.
And the MBTA compliance, pushing that forward to January.
No, no,
well,
no.
No?
Yeah.
Inclusionary zoning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Which is January.
And there's also, regionally looking at other towns, Pepperell's got some affordable housing topics going on. Groton certainly does. Dunstable's got ones that are going on. Is it worth having a session where all, the towns sort of regionally come together and you designate one person to sit and have a cup of coffee with the other folks from other towns? Because I do think there's some regional goals that could be developed between, almost a coalition of the area. Even though we're MRPC and, Pepperell and Dunstable are NIMCOG, outside of that, you do have some really strong leaders in the area that could probably bring some ideas together, and maybe there's some buying power regionally planning out within our own little, part of Massachusetts here. So
It's interesting too.
Yeah.
and maybe that's happening organically already, and I'm just not aware of it. So
All right, things to think about.
and then I guess last but not least is a future meeting. When do we want to try to meet again?
I know. When's the special town meeting? The 25th
The 25th.
of September?
So I would vote for after that.
Would you want to do it before or after the 9th?
When does the RFP go out?
After the 22nd
Yeah.
of October?
No, that they're due.
Responses are due then. Pre-bid is 10/9.
I think we should meet the week of, it goes into October all of a sudden.
I know.
The 29th of October or of September or the 1st of October.
Yeah, so for the RFP, we had said it was going to be available 9/25. That's a Thursday.
9:25 or 9:15?
Oh, 9/15, sorry.
9/15.
Yeah, I'm my chicken scratch here.
Okay. So, and we have a pre-bid meeting on 10/6.
10/9. 10/9 or 10/6?
10/9 is the questions,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
which we may not need, depending
I'll
on.
send a quick little snippet of all these date changes for you, everybody, too. So
That'd be good.
I think the week before for me, it would be like the 29th of September or the 1st of October.
I think 29th of September works best for me. Anybody else?
Yeah, that's good for me too. That's
So let's go with that date. Karen, what time works for you?
probably a little later in the day, like a 4 p.m. that day, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I'll be
September 29, you were saying?
Yeah.
correct.
29th.
Yeah, Monday, the 29th of September. I know I'm coming up from New York on the 28th late, so won't be
Yeah,
in.
let's do
So
4 p.m.
great.
And is that virtual or is it in person?
Doesn't matter to me. We could do virtual or we could do in person. I know virtual enables folks to come from wherever if you're on the road or just don't feel like driving late in the day. School will be in session and soccer games will probably be going on. So sometimes it's better to be off the road at that time.
Let's do Zoom. Let's do virtual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
I don't have any
All right.
other meeting business. So It's up to you folks if you want to chat about anything else.
I think I'm good. You and Kieran, you and Dave will take care of meeting with town council during.
On the 5th. Right?
And
Yeah,
then
I'll send you an email, Dave, and we'll get, I'll make Adam aware of it in advance too, in case he has any, he may throw a red flag and say, hey, this is crazy. And at which point we'll let him give us the rundown. So
Okay, that's the 4th, is that right?
I believe so. I'll check with Sabrina to get the exact date. So
Okay, just to let you know, I can't do it in the morning. I can do it anytime after 12.
yeah, he's typically in the evening those days, like early evening. So that'll jive well with his schedule. So.
Okay.
If someone wanted to entertain a motion to adjourn at 5:09 p.m. and then a roll call vote.
I move to adjourn at
Second,
5:09 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
okay, Cindy Boundy, yes.
Beverly Napier, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes.
Dave Whirlin, yes.